Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. This is part 2 of interview questions and answer series on static timing analysis. Now without wasting much time, let us get started. Friends, let us have a very quick view on part 1. In part 1, we discussed what is setup and hold time of a flip-flop. Then I asked you this question where you had to find the critical path in this design. And after finding the critical path, the next question was to find the minimum time period where the circuit can operate. And it came out to be 25 nanosecond. And then we divided this minimum time period to find out the max frequency of operation for this design. 1 by 25 nanosecond, it came out to be 40 megahertz. Now let us proceed further in this video. Friends, by now you know how to find out the critical path and how to calculate the maximum operating frequency of the design. I have taken this design from the question number 1 and I have made some changes in the design. And now you have to tell me what will be the maximum operating frequency of this design. You can pause my video here, take your time, and if you come to know its answer, please write down in the comment section and we will discuss there. Okay, let me reveal its answer. Friends, if you see, there are 4 register to register paths inside this design. This is the first path, this is second path, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. And for your information, in question number 1, we consider this fourth path as a critical path, and based on it we calculated the minimum time period of operation and maximum operating frequency. But in this question, the situation or scenario is bit changed. Keep your attention on the input X, which may be coming from other chip or may be coming from other board, but it is input to our design. And there is a huge delay of 10 nanosecond. And this delay is going to make a difference. Friends, now our new critical path will be from input X to flip-flop U3. But now many of you may argue that this is not a register to register path. How can this be a critical path? Friends, just for your information, this input X is coming from other chip or maybe from other board, as I mentioned earlier. Now let us have a look inside the other chip or maybe from other board. So I am considering that this input X is coming from other chip. Now inside the chip there will be a flop and some combination delay, then it will come at the output of that chip. So now if you see the complete path, this is flip-flop, this is combination delay, and then obviously this is some trace delay, combination delay, flip-flop. So it becomes flip-flop to flip-flop path. Because we can calculate maximum frequency or minimum time period of operation only when the path is flip-flop to flip-flop. If you really want to know how we calculate this minimum time period and maximum frequency, I have created a separate video and I will give its link in the I bar and in the description section. You can go through it. It is a bit animated video, so it will be quite useful for all of you. Friends, now this is our new critical path as we discussed, and this will govern the maximum operating frequency. Friends, before calculating maximum operating frequency of our design, let me tell you a few very important points that you should remember. Usually we give period constant to the timing tools to calculate the maximum operating frequency of our design. And the tool reports slack, which could be negative or positive depending upon the results. If slack is negative, that means whatever period constant we gave is not met. If slack is positive, that means we will be able to achieve the desired operating frequency. Now the problem with the period constant is, if we give only period constant to the timing tool, it will consider only register to register paths. And in our example, it will consider this fourth path from U1 to U3 as a critical path, and it will calculate the timing. And as we calculated in question number 1, it will calculate that our design will be able to work at 40 megahertz. When we actually operate our design, our design will not work because the timing is not met, because the tool has not considered this path from X to U3 for period calculation or for max frequency calculation. Because the path is implemented in 2 chips or 2 boards. And our timing tool will not have any information of the logic implemented in the other chip. The timing tool has the only information that is implemented in our design, in our chip. So our timing tool cannot calculate the minimum time period of operation or maximum operating frequency associated with those paths which are coming from input ports. Friends, so far we learned that the period constant will consider only register to register paths inside our design, inside our chip only. It will not consider those paths which are coming from input ports or output ports. And some of the timing tools I saw that they give infinite slack for the paths which are coming from input or output if some other supporting constants are not given. But then what is the solution? We need very accurate timing so that whatever is reported by the timing tool should work practically on the practical hardware. And the solution is, apart from period constant, we have some other type of constants which help us to compute timing on the input and output ports. For an example, there are many constants like offset in constant, offset out constant, and some of the tools use set input delay constant, set output delay constant. Though we are not going to discuss the complete syntax of these constants, anyway, we are going to create separate video on these constants as well. And once the videos are ready, I will share their links in the description section. You can go through them. But for the time being, let me give you an idea. In our case, to compute minimum time period or maximum operating frequency, we can use set input delay constant. So what do we mention inside the set input delay constant? Actually, we mention delay associated with flop, all the combination delays, and then all the board traces delays. I mean to say, whatever is delayed till this input port X, we mention it in the set input delay. And after this input port X, our tool has all the information of the logic, whatever it is going to implement inside our chip. With this, the timing tool will have all the information related to delays, either they are inside the chip or outside the chip. And it will be very easy for the timing tool to calculate the minimum time period of operation or maximum operating frequency of the complete design. But it will only be feasible if we will give some constant like in set input delay, set output delay constraints along with the period constant. Friends, let us consider a practical example. I have taken the setup time, hold time and TCQ value of the flip-flop which is outside our chip. And the combination logic delay is 5 nanosecond, and for the timing I am ignoring all the board trace delays. This is 5 nanosecond, this is 5 nanosecond. And inside our set input delay we will mention total delay as 10 nanosecond because TCQ is 5 nanosecond and this combination logic delay is 5 nanosecond. And now let us calculate the T minimum. T minimum will be equal to TCQ of this flop 5 nanosecond and the combination logic delay which is 5 nanosecond. This delay 10 nanosecond and the delay of this OR gate which is 8 nanosecond, delay of this AND gate which is 9 nanosecond and the setup time of this flip-flop which is 3 nanosecond. Add them all, 5 plus 5 10 plus 10 20 plus 8 28 plus 9 37 plus 3 40 nanosecond. And from here very easily we can calculate the maximum frequency of operation. Maximum frequency of operation will be 1 by T minimum, 1 by 40 nanosecond, which will come out to be 25 megahertz. Friends, now I am going to end this video and I hope that this would be quite informative for all of you. And in future we will create many such videos. If you really like my video, please press the like button, share it with your colleagues and share your feedback in the comment section. And for the notification of all the future videos, don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching.